This is another big blow for the comic book industry as Diamond Comics distributor delays is causing distresses for comic stores right as the holidays hit. I've been hearing that the decline of the comic shop is really a death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's been going over and over and over again. If it's not one thing, it's the other. If it's bad content from Marvel just sinking sales, or if it's COVID, or if it's distributor problems, and that comes from Diamond and from the new distributors they picked up with Penguin Random House as they all got situated. A lot of people have just left comic shops. And the thing about comic readers is once they get out of that habit of becoming weekly warriors and buying those comics over and over and over again, they don't really come back. I mean, they don't easily get right back into the habit. It is something that was developed for years and years and years, and there's not a bunch of new young people who are coming in and picking up these books, even though they're aimed at modern audiences now as they're trying to replace all the characters in Marvel and DC Comics with BIPOC or female or gay versions of the characters. Nobody's coming in and reading. It's not really generating new readers. So when stuff like this happens, it's a huge hit to retailers who are already suffering. Comic shops are closing in droves as they have been for years now, and this might cause more as the holiday seasons are some of the most important times for retailers, and if they can't get the product they need, they're not going to get the sales that they need as well. And that is something that's very, very difficult to recover from when they already have very, very thin margins at these shops. So please hit the like and subscribe button as we join us as we talk about this here. I am a comic book creator myself, and I'm blacklisted from the industry, so you won't find my stuff in stores. But you will find it on Fun by Comic, which is a free speech platform, which I love. And we've just hit 300 backers on our new project, The Emerald Array. This is a great alternative to mainstream comics. It goes directly to you and supports some great artists, too, who are working with me in this as we're trying to build a new cultural movement around comics. So check this out. It's a 66-page graphic novel about a Space Marine team that's fighting alien bug monsters. It's a ton of fun. It will harken you back to those feelings you got from 70s and 80s books, stuff with Jack Kirby art and the like. Definitely has that vibe all the way around, and it's in the description below. Support our channel, support independent comics. Thank you guys so much, and grab this book today. So, as reported on Bleeding Cool, Diamond Comics distributor and comic shop store distress is causing a lot of problems, and it creates worries for the future of comics direct market going forward. There's not a lot of comic shops left. It used to be back in the day that comic shops, there were about 3,000 plus of them that really, existed. And then there were 500 that were we carry everything, including the indie comics and the like. Well, now it's shrunk to the point where there's 500 shops that really are out there that really are comic-centric at all. A lot of them might be labeled comic shops, and they might actually just have pull lists and things like that. But their main business is not comics. It's usually games or Funko Pops or other collectibles that are keeping them afloat at this point. They've really destroyed the direct market in a lot of ways, and that's why sales are so far down, despite their occasional blips like Absolute Batman, which are inflated numbers for more than just it being a number one and more than people being excited about the story. We've covered exactly how DC kind of scams to make it look way more successful than it actually is. You can go watch that video another time, which is on the channel. But here is another problem that's going to be hitting very, very shortly. Bleeding Cool reported on delays from Diamond Comics distributors as a result of closing its Plattsburgh distribution center on the New York-Canada border. That's hitting the entire Upper East Coast there. Yesterday, Bleeding Cool writer and comic store employee Jerry Conrad shared how he was losing his sleep at night as a retailer as a result of Diamond Comics distributor delays. At the time, I was knee-deep in updates to see what was happening, and it seems that Conrad's article may have inspired Diamond to send out a second missive. So this is what they say. Disruptions from the consolidation of accounts to Diamond's Olive Branch distribution center have been compounded by the Thanksgiving holiday, despite the distribution center teams working through the weekend. For product with an on-sale date of December 4th, many shipments will be delayed to Wednesday or Thursday of the week. So when people come in on Wednesday in the shop, they won't get their books, and a lot of those people are just not going to come back and buy on Thursday. That is going to just trash sales for the December 4th week. So due to the changes of how we process shipments, the operations is unable to provide retailer services with information on the shipments any earlier than when they appear in the retail services website shipments tracking package. The most up-to-date information for retailers is on that page, so please check there each morning for tracking information. With a full 7 days this work week, the operation team's goal is to minimize disruptions for products with an on-sale date of December 11th. So these are the two biggest weeks of the year for comic shops usually. And so not having the 4th and not having 11th means that a lot of Christmas gifts are not going to get purchased, that a lot of Christmas pickups are not going to be done. This is when the bulk of the stuff comes in for December because things start to die down actually toward the holidays. And so this is going to be a big, big blow for retailers. This could be offsetting monthly sales, because I was a comic book retailer myself at one point, so I know how important December is, by 30% or more, and December being the top month of the year could really just like hammer comic shops to where it could drive a bunch out of business. This is a big deal. So Chris Powell sent a follow-up saying, "Let me begin by offering a direct apology." Oops. Well, that doesn't do anything. "I know shipping delays and inconsistencies over the past month have caused significant challenges and frustration, and I sincerely apologize for the impact this has had on your business operations. While we've made decisions to consolidate our distribution centers, the intent was to do so over a longer period of time and in a slower part of the year. You should have done this in February, bro. Unexpectedly, the owner of the Plattsburgh facility chose not to extend our lease on a month-to-month basis." Oh, well, if they had it on month-to-month, that's kind of your own fault for doing that, and so you could have predicted this by extending the lease for a year prior to going month-to-month. Okay, this is their own incompetency right here, as much as he's putting the blame on someone else. "Having identified another tenant without advertising the space, this drastically reduced the time we needed to plan and execute these stages. This accelerated the timeline for our move, compounded by holiday schedules and unnecessary invoicing and reporting adjustments, created the perfect storm that has affected you in unacceptable ways." Well, at least they know it's unacceptable. "We are dedicated to getting things back on track." The thing is, like, even though they talk about more operational adjustments and communications and team mobilizations, the damage is done. Comic shops cannot survive this kind of thing. They can't survive delays like this. If they don't get the product and they don't get it on the Wednesday when the people actually go into the shops, massive, massive problems. That is the biggest time of year and biggest time of the month and weeks to have a massive problem on this. And this is incompetency. So if they did allow their lease to go month to month, usually commercial leases, I've been in commercial real estate, so I can tell you exactly how this works, go for 3 or 5 years. And so they could have probably extended for a year or two while they decided to close things down, or they could have figured out how to close things down before that term actually went up, and that would have actually made it before it all went month to month in a different time of year where it wasn't quite as bad as the December holidays. Unfortunately, they did this, and of course, when they do go month to month, and they say they're not going to renew and they are consolidating, the owner of the building at that point knows, hey, I have to go get a new tenant somehow, and you don't know how long that's going to take. Usually the market's pretty slow, but like you're gambling at that point that you're going to be able to remain for longer than a month-to-month period with that kind of thing going on. That's why it's month-to-month. And so that gamble is complete incompetency and complete business incompetency on Diamond's part. There's nothing else to it. As much as they tried to shift the blame, it's all on them, and it is going to hurt comic shops. Now, Diamond's done a lot of stupid things over the years that have made things really, really difficult. They became a monopoly in distribution in like the early 2000s, where like there was pretty much nothing else out there. Marvel and DC have paired off from it, as have some other companies at this point, just because it's been such a cluster to deal with these people on every single level. But Diamond still remains the predominant distributor for most other comics out there, and is a huge thing. And this is pretty wild to happen during Christmas. Like I said, it's going to lead to comic shop closures. Not a good thing. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and definitely check out my Emerald Array graphic novel. This will be coming out in the early new year, guys, and you're going to absolutely love this. We just hit it out of the park with this one. Early readers have told me this is the book that you want. It is 100% done with line art already, so we're ready to go for you. Can't wait to get this into your hands. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. We'll be back soon.